of that. They bring another thing expensive. Before you know it, they're bringing stolen things to the house. And they'll grow up valuing stealing. So monitoring their character, monitoring their companions, monitoring their role models, monitoring their behavior. These are things to monitor, and they need to be there. Kind of being like bribing. Bribing children to do what they ought to do is to convince their children that the children have responsibilities. Yes, parents have the duty of parenting, but children have chores to do. Chores are responsibilities. They'll grow up to do those in their house. Who will bribe them to do good things in their houses? So, one, it's good to give incentives, to give an encouragement, but that could be after the children have done the chores. Not to say, take this so you can go and do that. It's not. They have a responsibility. Parents have responsibilities. Children have responsibilities. No. Again, if it is after every chore, children can just get you captive. When they want something from you, they go and do something so you can give them. I think the emphasis is on responsibility. Children have responsibility in the house. Come on, they grow up, 9 months in the womb, the mother is taking care of them, they grow up, you pay their school fees, you do everything, and you are not giving them so that they can give back to you. So it's good to say thank you as an encouragement, but it's not everything. If it becomes everything, it's as if you are buying their services, and it shouldn't be so. Parenting is dying. Unfortunately, is dying. The way people are committed to work in places like Abuja, it's expensive. It's as if both parents have to work. The father has to work, the mother has to work, and in the end, children don't see them. People leave houses in some parts of Abuja about 5 a.m. They get back at 8 p.m. Where is the time with the children? And things like that. So the fact of parents being there is suffering. You need to be there to parent. If you're not there, you can't do long-distance parenting. You have to be there. And then some values. Some values are children are imbibing certain values that if parents don't counteract those values, they'll grow up with them and it will spoil their character. So it's such an important responsibility, parenting, but it's an endangered responsibility in the 21st century. But parents have to make up their minds to say, look, this is something I must do. There are no substitutes. There's no acting father. There's no acting mother. There's no deputy father. There's no deputy mother. If you are not there, you're not there. So it's a serious responsibility. There's a deputy governor, there's a vice president, there's a deputy vice chancellor, there's a deputy director. But father, mother, there are no deputies. You have to be there. But they're not being there is endangering the whole process.
So what's the way out?
Priorities. It's about prioritizing. And really, the good thing is that for those who believe in God, those who are Christians, for instance, you're not there alone. God is there helping too. So it's about making sure God is involved, praying, trusting God, but also making up it's a priority. You say, look, this responsibility, if I'm not there as a father, I'm not there. If I'm dead, it's no, I'm there. But if I'm alive and I'm not there, I'm not there. I have no deputy. It's just like being a husband. There's no deputy husband. There's no deputy father. There's no deputy mother. So to say, if I'm not there, I'm not there, so I must be there.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Hi. We are here for registration.
Can I have your number, please? 49. Number 2 just left my office now.
So,
It is number 3 stone.
are you saying I have to be on the queue? Do you know who you're talking to?
Our policy says we should queue. Madam, it is high time we started doing things right in this country. Next, please. Turn around.
Mr. Brief, you really need this money for a new pair of shoes.
That notwithstanding, I shall not be bribed. This is corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Children are the future of any nation. They can be honest, trustworthy, and upright if they are properly molded. The Nigerian family must wake up to its responsibility. The home must be a center for character building of the individual and a positive transformation of the society in general. That's our package on this week's edition of the program. Our social media platforms are open 24 hours for your questions and comments and suggestions. You can also watch this program on our social media platforms. Just log in to www.youtube.com/ICPC Nigeria. Thank you for your time and bye for now.
Are you an entrepreneur? Do you have an existing business or great business idea? Then Africa's Young Entrepreneurs Empowerment Nigeria, ION, is a program for you, where thousands of business owners and entrepreneurs will be empowered with business funding, mentorship, specialized skills training, and equipment. To register for the ION 2019 program, visit www.ion.ng. Fill in your personal and business details, check your email frequently, and follow us on all our social media platforms for regular updates. For more information, visit www.ayen.ng or call 070-0044-4444. ION 2019, showcasing and empowering Nigerian entrepreneurs.
welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. With $20 billion or more lying in wait to fund infrastructure by investors and the nation's economy gaining momentum, more searchlight is on the strategy being employed by government towards profitable investment in the country. At a discussion with a delegation from Harvard Business School on this, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the focus of the Buhari administration is for the nation to be an industrialized country in the next 10 years. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has more.
Present here are some of Nigeria's finest entrepreneurs and intellectuals who are mostly graduates of Harvard University's business faculty. The Nigerian economy is unique and exciting, especially for experts and students of economics. This gathering, therefore, is to welcome some professors from the Harvard Business Faculty willing to learn more about Nigeria and its economy. As the faculty members say, research on the Nigerian economy would provide excellent report for students of economics all over the world. Professor Srikant Datta is leading the delegation.
There is much for us to learn about strategy, marketing, organization structure, managing people, and very importantly, responsibility to society as it is practiced in your country.
As a country that's heavily reliant on oil, how do you think about preparing for climate change? What can you do, what are you doing to bring back that diaspora talent?
A lot of the time, you know, when you look at what the strategies are saying, when you look at what the economists are saying, I mean, many times, obviously, it doesn't really quite work that way.
Nigeria's Vice President and Chairman of the National Economic Council, Yemi Osinbajo, provides answers to the questions raised on what the country is doing to improve the economy, citing the social investment programs, agriculture, the focus on having an efficient civil service for enabling business environment, and development of infrastructure such as rail, road, and power generation.
We have to rewrite regulations and encourage more people to invest in that sector, and then cost-reflective tariffs and all that. That really is, you know, where we're heading, and we think that in the next few months we will unveil a plan that we hope will deal with many of the critical issues in the power sector.
For an hour and a half, participants discussed the way forward for Nigeria.
Actually, outside, there's a tremendous amount of excitement about Nigeria, and all we need to do is figure out a way to tap into it, and this place can go places.
Cynicism is cheap. Criticism is very easy. We have to do our best, even if it means failing.
I think as we go into business, as we go into the economy, if we're dealing with poverty, we've got to think, how do we get business to make money while impacting on wider society?
At the end of it all, there is the consensus that the country remains aligned of immense opportunities for investors. In Lagos, Jide Onifade, NJ News.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says the role of the media will be critical and crucial to the performance of the 9th National Assembly. He was speaking when he granted audience to the National Assembly correspondents who were on a congratulatory visit. The Senate President advised the media to report on the 9th Assembly professionally in the interest of the national unity, devoid of sentiments. He promised that his leadership will be all-inclusive and will ensure effective discharge of their oversight functions.
Have no reason, we would have no excuse not to work together, not to perform. So we have sought, and by the grace of God and your support, got the office, and it is now the critical time to face the realities of the office. That is to ensure that we bring everybody together, that we work together, that we deliver together. In the process of governance, we are expected to work with the executive arm of government. We are supposed to have a relationship of complementarity we are supposed to have a relationship that is based on cooperation, collaboration, synergy, and partnership.
Some of the reasons why we decided to embark on this course was one, to actually make it a platform on which we were going to extend cooperation message to you. Secondly, to also come up with workable strategies which will ensure that we have a harmonious relationship in the National Assembly.
Meeting is expected to enhance the relationship between the 9th Senate and the media. Meanwhile, state legislature in the last 20 years has been given a fair score. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, speaking on the role of state legislature in Nigeria's 20 years of democracy, noted that adequate utilization of funds and retraining of state legislators were some of the ways to effectively manage and deal with issues such as dormancy and ineffectiveness in the state houses of assembly. Daniel Adere tells us more.
Noting that the wheel of democracy may be moving at a fairly slow pace, there has been an appreciable level of success so far recorded, as guests called for a deliberate effort by the state legislature to operate independently without interference from the executive.
The level at which the executive then used to kind of influence the recruitment of members, they always want to bring in people that don't even know what they're supposed to do. People that don't even know their constitutional responsibility as an elected member of the state legislature.
The wheel of democracy grinds very slowly, but surely we'll definitely get to a point where things will be corrected. And I do hope that as we cascade down, 20 years from now, we should be looking at the state legislatures taking their stand.
The electorate were advised to shun the general ideology or belief that state legislators are extremely wealthy individuals.
The people who voted us in should be in position to question us. What are you doing in the house? What the project you people are planning for us in the house?
Any person who has run to be governor, who has been elected a governor, should ordinarily seek that which will be in the best interest of the people. But that is not the case. The governors want their best interest, so they don't want any person to talk.
They called for better carryover of institutional memories and strengthening of the legislature at the state level. In Abuja, Daniel Adiriye, NTA News.
One of the unique components of President Muhammadu Buhari's Democracy Day speech is his intention to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty by sustaining the mechanism for its actualization. Guests on Tuesday Live are of the opinion that a firm commitment towards blocking all leakages, collective fight against insecurity, and prompt implementation of policies will be the key to actualizing this promise. Doindia has details.
From the electioneering campaigns of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari to INEC's announcements of elections results and the ceremonious presidential inauguration, one thought that presumably occupied the minds of many Nigerians is the freedom from poverty and economic hardship, a desire that can only be achieved with purposeful leadership. And such was the context of President Buhari's Democracy Day speech.
And chart a bold plan for transforming Nigeria.
The president, over 66 guests on Tuesday Live, ratified the projection of the commander-in-chief, maintaining that a drastic action on all critical sectors of the nation's economy is key. Nigeria, they say, must take a cue from China, Indonesia, Singapore, and other notable countries that have traversed from poverty level to world power.
The first people that did such kind of thing in the world is China. They lift out 700 million people out of poverty in 20 years. But to do that, there are so many things you have to do.
At least we are expecting to see about 40 million Nigerians taken out of poverty. If that can be achieved, I think that is good for this country.
So the government is clear that we can do this with, this is a purposeful leadership committed to delivering results.
We need to give the President Buhari administration 2015 to 2019 some credit in terms of how it has gone about tackling some of the insecurity challenges within the country. But to expect absolute security.
The guest also emphasized that with the firm commitment on export promotion through agricultural development, war against corruption and insecurity, Nigerians can again have the good old days when basic needs of life were easily met.
To help the small-scale industries, the medium-scale industries, and more importantly, to make funding available to farmers.
And that things are being worked to ensure the country is put back in place.
And so the clock is already ticking, with hopes fully activated by Nigerians waiting patiently for the fulfillment of such promises, just as guests on the show believe that with such demonstration by the Commander-in-Chief, the path to total recovery will just be in a bit. In Abuja, Doing, Dia, NT News.
Thanks, Doing. Our next report from Geneva says Nigeria has joined ILO's global action that seeks to foster a culture of prevention of occupational hazards, expected to lead to significant reduction in the incidence of work-related deaths, injuries, and diseases. Delegates at the International Conference of the ILO in Geneva, Switzerland, have vowed to lead the campaign. Emmanuel Ayimiro has more.
Related injuries and diseases, with another 313 million workers suffering from non-fatal work-related injury and illness, Global Confederation of Workers took their protest to the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, to draw the attention of employers on the need to ensure fundamental rights of workers take preeminence in the world of work, which have not worked well in most countries.
Our challenge for the next 100 years is to do it better.
Going forward into the digital world, workers are going prepared to ensure that there is a new social contract that will protect all our rights.
Presenting the issues before the parliament, leaders of Nigerian workers, Ayuba Waba, reminded ILO to push for investment in occupational safety and health, particularly in developing countries, if sustainable development is to be achieved.
We demand regulation of economic power and the redistribution of wealth for us. It is workers first, then profit. We must refuse to accept current level of inequality that is high.
Another suggestion is how to provide plans to boost Nigerian workers' insurance policies.
Until we go back to the drawing board and realize that the workers who are dying through this process are equally Nigerian citizens who are paying tax, will continue to pay lip service to occupational health, and safety.
The Social Insurance Trust Fund is out to ensure that those who suffer death as a result of being in active service, the beneficiaries or next of kin are adequately rewarded by what is called a death benefit.
Workers' delegates are anxious to see factory inspector back on stream in Nigeria to achieve the desired reduction of hazards in the workplace. From Geneva, Switzerland, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NT News.
And back home, another conference on electronic waste has been held. Let's now join Ruth in Lagos for details and much more. Hello, Ruth.
Thank you, Lydia, and welcome to Lagos. Plans to ensure Nigeria quits being an e-waste dumping ground has been taken to a new level with the formal launch and inception of a project tagged Economy Resources Approach to Electronics Sector. Jennifer Igwe reports that the meeting will connect the formal and informal sector to global best practices in management of e-waste.
This formal launch and inception meeting of the project Secular Approaches for the Electronic Sector is aimed at getting those in the electronic business to, in an environmentally sound manner, extract usable materials from electronics and electrical appliances that can go back into the value chain rather than constitute what we refer to as e-waste. It will also ensure that the extended producer responsibility works very well in Nigeria. And I have with me someone who has been in the forefront in the awareness and advocacy for e-waste in Nigeria, Professor Oladele Oshibajo, the former director of the Basel Convention in Nigeria. So what impact do you think this project will make?
Thank you very much, Jennifer. The project is actually going to make significant impact in the social, economic, and environment situation in Nigeria. Hitherto, if you even look at municipal solid waste, government resources are grossly inadequate to manage the waste. That's why you have waste everywhere. Now, the EPR system, Extended Producer Responsibility, gives the responsibility of managing the waste to a producer beyond the consumer stage and also into the life cycle of the product.
And it's important to note that in this gathering we have people from both the formal and informal sector here. So it's going to be a holistic approach that will help in managing e-waste in Nigeria. Correct. From venue of the meeting, Jennifer Igwe reporting. Back to studio.
Thank you, Jennifer. Adherence to safety and security guidelines in the oil and gas sector has been identified as a means of minimizing radiological accidents in the workplace. Regulatory bodies in the oil and gas and stakeholders met in Lagos to further advocate compliance. Abolade Salami was there and now reports.
Putting in place the required security measures in the use of nuclear technology in the oil and gas sector so as to regulate the misuse of radioactive resources for other purposes informed the gathering of regulators in the gas industry. Notable among concerns raised by the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Agency is the potential risk associated with accidents involved in radioactive sources during operation, storage, or transportation.
And it has to do with the security of radiation sources because you have issues of security of radiation sources like loss in control, stock in hall, and so on and so forth. And that's why we now call a stakeholders meeting to discuss issues.
In order to keep pace with operational and technological development in the use of radioactive resources with respect to relevant safety, the regulatory body re-emphasized the need to continually promote participatory compliance through knowledge.
For using nuclear technology as a whole, whether for power or non-power, you require a regulatory body that, one, is effective in terms of safety and security of those practices.
I believe this is a good radiance for the system because when the regulators and the operators meet, there's always something to achieve.
The two-day workshop has as its theme safety, security, and regulatory requirements for the use of nuclear technology in the oil and gas industry, challenges and way forward. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Proper medical information, care and policies that will help in preventing complications of sickle cell disease are some measures identified by medical experts. This was at a public lecture to commemorate the 2019 World Sickle Cell Day in Lagos. Ime Udori has details.
People living with sickle cell disorder have heart-touching stories to tell. From excruciating pain to stigmatization, 61-year-old Budukbe Olakbade Popola and Atinuke Adeleye 42 can be referred to as champions. This is because they have been able to weather through that stormy journey.
When you talk about what excruciating pain is, I think I know what it is. And today I stand before everybody to say God has been so faithful.
I'm part of the people that were given death sentences. He will die by 21, he will die by 25. all those things. That's why I have a book. I wrote a book, Died at 25, because I was told I would die at 25.
So many complicated issues like meningitis, hepatitis B, leg ulcer, brain seizure, others. But it's just been to the glory of God that I've been able to scale through.
Statistics by the World Health Organization, WHO, reveal that sickle cell disease is the most prevalent genetic disease in the world, with 75% of patients in sub-Saharan Africa and Nigeria with the largest burden, accounting for more than 100,000 new births annually. To curb the prevalence, Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria brought together professionals to brainstorm on the way forward with focus on emerging frontiers in the management of sickle cell disorder.
Having our patients here not on hydroxyurea who have severe disease is travesty, because our mortality into adulthood is only 10%. In the UK and the US, every child born with severe disease, 98 to 99% will live into adulthood. That's not the case in Nigeria. So we have to find public health initiatives to allow and provide this for make it accessible to every living child. The good news is this drug is now being produced in Oyo State in Ibadan.
Other speakers say implementation of multidisciplinary care will help in reducing maternal mortality in women.
We have people who are over 70, 60, 50, living well, and how we can manage them and make them live normal lives. That's the whole point of research.
Nigeria has the numbers. We have the highest number of persons with sickle cell in the world. So if you want to do trials and research into drugs, this is where to do it.
For Modukbe, Atinuke, and many other survivors of sickle cell disorder, every critical decision taken at this meeting is a step towards making their future better for them.
Let's take a commercial break. Nationwide continues shortly.
NTA Television College Jos announces admissions into 2-year diploma programs in film and television production, television engineering, and broadcast journalism. The sale of forms will commence on the 13th of May and run through 30th July 2019. Admission forms can be obtained from all marketing offices, NTA state capital stations, zonal centers, or at the office of the academic secretary, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos.
On payment of a non-refundable fee of 7,500 naira in bank draft in favor of NTA TV College. Applicants can also obtain the forms through the NTA TV College portal at www.ntatvc.edu.nj.
Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE or SSCE in relevant areas of study in not more than 2 sittings, including English and mathematics. All properly completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before 30th July 2019. For further inquiries, please visit our website at ntatvc.com or call 0803-3144-383.
NTA TV College, training you to be the best you want to be.
Registrar, Announcer.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspots, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all 52 games will hit your screens in crystal clear digital quality. It's your guarantee of a memorable viewing experience and a wonderful cost-effective opportunity for corporate Nigeria to reach tens of millions of Nigerians. For sponsorship and commercial support, contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. Hot Sports, masters of the game. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Welcome back. Nationwide continues in Abuja. Bitumen deposits in Ondo State has the potential to meet Nigeria's asphalt demands and boost foreign exchange earnings for the federal government if fully explored. This was the submission of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu at an interactive meeting with a group of investors in Akure. Olubumi Oke reports.
Nigeria consumes more bitumen than 95% of other West Africa countries combined, and Ondo State has the largest deposit in Nigeria and the 5th largest reserve in the world. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu expressed the readiness of his administration to give necessary backing to local and foreign investors for the exploration of the mineral resource.
I've been waiting for this for many years. This is a breakthrough. And I think
the leader of the team affirmed that the state has the potential of producing asphalt products that can compete favorably with others at the international market.
It's what we consider heavy oil, and we realize that this bitumen can be used for asphalt because it's cheaper to develop it that way rather than doing what is being done in Canada, that is converting the bitumen to oil and gas.
Bitumen is one of the richly deposited mineral resources in Nigeria and in some African countries. Just like crude oil, it is found in Ondo, Lagos, Ogun, and Edo states. In Akure, Olubumi Oke, NTA News.
Nigeria will soon have a new policy that will guide, promote, and protect the country's interests in the world of shea butter business. The policy, already drafted by the Ministry of Trade and Investments, is expected to push further the country's shea butter output and provide ways of enhancing processing. Musa Baba Aliyu has that one.
Have shown that Nigeria accounts for about 60% of the global output of shea. This is because the country produces more than 400,000 metric tons of shea annually. In spite of this, Nigeria earns little revenue from the production, processing and marketing of shea and its byproducts within and outside the country.
Traditional methods are what are being used to process shea mainly. So we don't have modern techniques, we don't have the kind of equipment or infrastructure that will make the quality of the shea we produce in this country acceptable to the international market.
Want to present this draft policy?
Having identified the challenges affecting shea processing, the government is pushing for a new policy that will make Nigeria be a major player in the global trade of shea and its byproducts.
But now we have come out and we are holding the bulls by the horn that the shea sector in this country must be able to bring at least 20%, must be able to control at least 20% of the GDP of this country.
The policy expected to have the blessings of the Federal Executive Council will in return increase revenue generation from shea to more than 20 billion naira annually. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, the European Union has launched a 3-year resilience project from 2019 to 2022 with 12 billion naira to strengthen the resilience of conflict-affected and voluntary communities in Yobe State. Under the European Union Early Recovery Project in the Northeast Sub-region, 6 local government areas in the state have been selected with thousands of households to benefit from the multi-billion naira intervention in agriculture, health, education and nutrition. Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports.
Yobe is one of the 3 states in the Northeast Sub-region which suffered enormous destruction during the 10 years Boko Haram insurgency, with relative peace now being enjoyed in addition to the return of thousands of displaced people to their communities, particularly in Gujba and Gulan local government. The urgent need to provide necessary support and intervention to restore their means of livelihood become imperative. Toward this end, the European Union, under its Early Recovery Project in the Northeast, launched a 3-year resilience project with 12 billion naira to strengthen and improve human development, social cohesion and resilience among targeted vulnerable households and communities across 6 local government areas of the state.
This was in response to the extreme unmet recovery needs in northeast Nigeria. And the increase also recognizes that most of the recovery and relief effort from development partners is currently focused on Borno State, including the lion's share of the EU support to the northeast of around 350 million euro in total.
Yobe State Governor Memola Buni, represented by his deputy Idi Berde Gubana, said the European Union's support to IDPs and returnees in communities across the state will no doubt impact positively on the lives of the affected and vulnerable in their communities.
This will equally address the setbacks suffered as a result of the insurgency, which included displacements of thousands of people, destruction of public and private structures worth billions of naira.
The European Union 30 million euro funded project from 2019 to 2022 has 6 implementation consortium partners, which include the Mexico, Danish Refugee Council, Save the Children International, Corporation International, and International Alert, who have all designed their programs of action to achieve targeted results. In Damaturu, I am Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
And from Yobe, we go to the ancient city of Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by. Hello, Kemi.
Lydia, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is reviewing its 2019 general elections to ensure that hitches observed are tackled to avoid reoccurrence in future elections. Correspondent Lukman Hassan was at the review workshop held at the INEC office in Ibadan.
Identify logistics as one of the major obstacles observed during the just concluded general elections. The Commission noted it led to the postponement of the earlier scheduled date, while urging participants to holistically review the general conduct of the 2019 general elections. INEC reminded them of the need to provide workable solutions towards successful conduct of future elections.
We are going to review every aspect of the election. By the time we finish with this, we're going into another review with the political parties themselves.
Media and all the religious organizations, they stood by us to be able to assist us to spread the policies of the Commission.
Some returning officers who participated in the 2019 general elections also commented.
The electoral security is very, very paramount because that will guarantee the credibility of the result.
As preparations for the 2023 general elections get underway, the Independent National Electoral Commission believes that with what it's reviewing in the past elections, solutions to avoid mistakes observed in previous elections will be profiled in Ibadan. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
The fight against irregular migration to Europe has been taken to youths in tertiary institutions in Oyo State. Correspondent Oyinka Omole reports that the awareness program targeted over 1 million ill-informed youths about dangers inherent in irregular migration.
When I got to Libya, so I was in prison for quite some time, and so far so good. The it was God all the way. A lot of Nigerians, like a lot of Africans, are dying in the desert.
Major players in migration processes and associated crimes admonish undergraduates to crave for self-sustenance and be patient.
Here in Nigeria, if you are really good skills, you can make something out of it. If you are here, you are using your skills, they will come to you.
We are in a bid to enlighten youth on the particular dangers associated with irregular migration.
Our border patrol units, they go to all these unauthorized routes.
To this Nigerian, Kazim Ojoye, who has spent over 27 years in Germany through his Youth Enlightenment, Empowerment and Self-Sustainability Initiative, believes in proper sensitization for the youth.
There are various ways you can travel to Europe in a regular way, in which when you get there, you'll be happy and you'll even be able to come back to your country, bring a lot of good things you've learned.
Various talents were showcased to emphasize the need for them to be skilled, apart from their academic qualifications. In Ibadan, Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
And what could have been a national tragedy was averted on Tuesday evening when the NNPC gas pipeline along Ibafo axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway was damaged by the ongoing construction works. Correspondent Mohammed Adebowale reports that the situation has, however, been brought under control.
Although regular traffic held for hours had been restored since, the burst NNPC gas pipeline caused panic to residents and motorists along Ibafo on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway following the leakage.
They are working here, excavating this side. So suddenly now, they asked us to open to check the pipe, whether the pipe is good or whether it's water that is inside. As we are about to open it, we never knew that it was a gas pipeline. That is how the pipeline just got burst.
It took the combined team of FRSC and other emergency rescue team to bring the situation under control.
Let us stay synergized more so that we can know all those things that are buried under the ground. As soon as a road contract is being awarded, it is important that for every other agency that is involved, we team up together. We just show ourselves what is involved so that we will avoid this kind of incidents another time, not only for this road, but for every other road corridor in the country.
The Department of Petroleum Resources has closed down all construction activities in the affected area till the pipeline is repaired. In Abeokuta, Mohammed Adebowale, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Is back to Lydia in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Kemi. President of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Chris Isiguzo, has urged the NNPC to sustain transparent initiatives of the Group Managing Director, Meikanti Baru, to improve efficiency in the industry. The NUJ president says the initiative has opened up the organization, but more can still be done to reposition NNPC to serve the people better. Lydia Sampson reports.
This handshake is indicative of greater collaboration between the NNPC and the NUJ. Little wonder, Chris Isiguzo gave the assurance that the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, will through its supercharge expose pipeline vandalization, smuggling of petroleum products, as well as the need for host communities to own and protect oil installations in their domain.
You can see that there is an appreciable level of stability in the oil industry, and that goes to show the caliber of leadership that you have at the NNPC.
For the GMD, the commendation coming from NUJ, who is a watchdog of society, is a morale booster and encouragement to do more. The GMD said NNPC has not only instituted a regime of transparent contracting and bidding in all her major projects, but also has reduced the cost of crude oil production from $27 to $22.
This distinguished body has a lot to expose the activities of these miscreants, which constitute a large drain on the Nigerian economy.
He assured that NNPC will continue to ensure seamless product availability across Nigeria. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Another report from Lydia Sampson says the Director General NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, has solicited the support of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation to augment NTA's costs of acquiring the exclusive right to beam live matches of AFCON 2019. The DG says the appeal is born out of a long partnership between NTA and the NNPC.
A warm handshake of chief executives of two organizations with mutually benefiting relationship spanning decades. This time around, DG NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed is leading a powerful delegation to the NNPC TAS to interface on how to make Nigerians happier.
Is by bringing the 52 matches of the forthcoming Africa Cup of Nations to the homes and viewing centers of all Nigerians. It's costing NTA a whopping sum of 1.8 million euros to acquire the rights from the Confederation of African Football. And we are working assiduously to make sure that the offer has been given to us. We have made an advance payment, and we are working assiduously to make sure that Nigerians are part and parcel of this continental fiesta.
GMD NNPC Mekan Tibaru says for a long time NTA has been partners in progress.
Whatever we could do as NNPC will do to support his tenure, to see that he prospers. And NNPC has shown us special magnanimity. Has shown notice when we have changing programs, he has approved them.
They both agree that sports, especially football, unites Nigerians, with Nigeria participating in AFCON after 6 years.
Continues and looks to go all the way. Lovely cut.
Beaming the tournament live will please Nigerians, and they resolve to ensure the success of AFCON 2019. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Year in, year out, universities and other research institutes in the country continue to release research results which tend to remain on the shelves without reaching the end users by way of commercialization. The Raw Materials Research and Development Council is now out to find solutions in this problem by publicizing research findings through exhibition. Justin Bem-Unyi came across some of these research works that, if improved upon, Nigeria will make a trademark in the world of technology and innovation.
Okay, this is Ismaila Suraju, and what he has here is a mini tractor, which he says is meant for conveying farm produce. And this is his innovation. And he is a graduate from the Government Science and Technical College, Area 3 here in Abuja. But what's so amazing about this innovation is that his ability to install a security device, which he says can call him wherever he is when this tractor is touched or tapped. Can you explain how it works?
This automatic security, once someone taps it, it will call my number.
Okay, can you give it a try?
Yes.
Okay, can you give it a try? Wow, and he has a call now.
And this is just one amongst an array of intellectual property, unveiling the ingenuity in innovations and research findings targeted at solving problems in the country. A range of technologies in medicine, where herbal products have been developed for ailments. Also a look at the food and agriculture, as well as other technologies and innovation here displayed, is the reflection of the common factor of utilizing locally available materials sourced as raw materials. This exhibition is to encourage further research and investment as the nation strives towards achieving sustainable economic development.
The exhibition is meant to promote awareness on the prospective technology and innovation developed locally through research work, promote economic transformation, and encourage industrial development through the application of research.
The luck for talent, the blessing for talent is no longer enough. Now in this country and in this world, you need a talent for luck and a talent for blessing.
The council is collaborating with the Center for Entrepreneurship Studies of University of Abuja to ensure that research findings like that of Surajo and others reach investors, industrialists and manufacturers. In Abuja, Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Information and Technology Development Agency, NIDA, has developed guidelines for public and private information and communication technology operators to use in auditing their information systems and testing softwares. Chimdima Ndubisi reports that the agency believes this will set standard in Nigeria's ICT sector and make it globally competitive.
Virtually every sector is adopting information and communication technology in driving its activities. With this comes the dangers of systems hack, database attacks, and manipulations, otherwise known as cybercrimes. To checkmate this, the National Information and Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has come up with guidelines that will help information and communication technology operators and software testers edge out errors, vulnerability, and ensure optimal productivity. That explains the meeting of these ICT experts to harmonize the documents.
By auditing these systems, you'll be able to find those vulnerable points that will be able to close the gaps and be able to make sure that the systems work efficiently and are more secure and reduce corruption.
What the guideline basically is trying to do is to empower individuals within organization to be able to set up a team of IS auditors, and this team will be able to conduct this audit on behalf of the organization after undergoing the required training to ensure that there is trust in information systems, and whatever data you are getting from them, you can be rest assured that those data are reliable, is actually protected.
It is important that the MDAs, even private sector, key into the highest audit standards, because it will reflect the competence of the organization.
The final output, the regulator says, is a guideline that must be complied with by all. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
For more on election matters, let's join Zulay in our Kaduna studios. Hello, Zulay.
Good evening and welcome to Kaduna. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says all permanent voter cards issued between 2010 and 2011 will expire by 2021 and will not be valid for the 2023 general elections. INEC National Commissioner in charge of Jigawa, Kano, and Katsina State, Ahmed Abubakar Nahuchi, stated this at the stakeholders review meeting of the 2019 general elections in Jigawa State. Abdullahi Garba Kudu reports.
The objective of the stakeholders meeting is to review achievements and challenges associated with the last election and prepare for 2023 polls. The interactive session provided opportunity for participants to brainstorm on challenges identified before, during and after the election and profile solutions for the improvement of the electoral process. INEC adjudged Jigawa State as the best state in the conduct of 2019 election, as no single petition was recorded at the election tribunal. National Commissioner in charge of Kano, Katsina and Jigawa States, Ahmad Abubakar Nahuchi, spoke on the lifespan of permanent voter cards as the need for people to be enlightened on the registration process ahead of 2023 election.
PBCs that are 10 years more, they are likely to degrade. So what we are saying is that before then, that our major task is to reissue those cards. And also, from the discussion we have in Katsina and Kano, that is the easiest way even we can remove the dead registrants.
So we expect people to make an input on what they have experienced during the 2019 election.
The meeting also deliberated on logistic and security challenges experienced during the last election, as well as the commitment of the Commission in conducting free, fair and credible election in the country.
Ahead of the November governorship election in Kogi and Bayelsa State, INEC is reviewing its performance in the last general elections with a view to making a better outing. National Commissioner in charge of Kaduna, FCT and Niger State, Antonia Simbini, gave the indication in Kaduna. Benny Adams reports.
Seated here are electoral officers, coalition officers, and other ad hoc staff that participated in the last general elections. The meeting here is aimed at assessing critically the roles played by each and every one of them to the success or otherwise of the election.
The meeting, according to INEC, serves as a platform for knowledge sharing on what worked and that which failed, with a view to consolidating unidentified strategies and successes. To achieve this, participants at the meeting are expected to look critically at the Commission's general preparedness, from voter education to voter registration and PVC collection, procurement and deployment of election materials, as well as recruitment, training and deployment of election personnel, among other issues.
Obviously, when we get recommendations that we can operationalize, we intend to begin to implement those recommendations.
After the state-level reviews, INEC intends to hear from other stakeholders across the nation.
In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
To effectively maintain border security and curtail smuggling of contraband into the country, the Nigerian Army is training personnel of the Nigerian Customs Service on weapon handling. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukum reports that the training is holding in Jaji, Kaduna.
Border security is a key aspect of the operations of the Nigerian Customs, and effective weapon handling is critical to its success. A total of 2,000 personnel of the Zombi Federal Operations Service of the Nigerian Customs, made up of assistant superintendent and inspectors, are scheduled for the training in marksmanship principles, safety precaution, weapon mechanism, as well as stripping and assembling, among other skills.
Even if you are not in the custom, you have read, you have seen how they are being challenged at their duty post by armed smugglers and other criminals. I think it's in that light the Comptroller General deemed it fit to refreshen your skills in this all-important aspect of war handling, so that in addition to effectively conducting your duties, you will also, above all, protect yourself.
Participants have been grouped into 10 batches of 200, and each batch will be trained for a period of 4 days. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachukum, NTA News.
And that's our beat from Kaduna. It's back to Lydia in Abuja for the rest of Nationwide. Good evening.
Thanks, Zule. We now take a break.
The Nigerian national flag is a sacred national symbol. It is a mark of patriotism and a show of love for our nation to fly the national flag correctly, in the right colors, right dimension, and in the right sizes for each occasion. In recent times, it has been noticed that government offices, corporate organizations, banks, embassies, and other notable institutions fly faded, shredded, and haggard-looking versions of the national flag. This is wrong and must stop. It has also been noticed that some citizens prefer to popularize the national flag of other nations. Fellow countrymen and women, let us be patriotic. Come, let us show love for our motherland. Fly the correct versions of our national flag in all relevant places. Be patriotic. Be proud ambassadors of our great country.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go. Be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hot Sports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Nigeria's premier sports production and marketing group, Hot Sports, partners with the biggest, the largest, and the #1 television network in Africa, the NTA, to give Nigerians a memorable viewing experience. Boost fan support for the Super Eagles to glory in Egypt. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
We now take the latest on AFCON Countdown.
For the first time, there will be 24 teams with 6 venues in 4 cities, hosting 52 matches of the African Football Championship. The Egyptian city of Cairo, founded in 969 AD by the Fatimid dynasty, has grown to become the 15th largest city in the world and is key to the 32nd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. With a population of 9 million, 3 stadiums in Cairo will be used for AFCON 2019. The Cairo International Stadium, with a seating capacity of 75,000, ranks among the most popular football grounds in the world. The facility was opened in 1960 and hosted past editions of the Africa Cup of Nations in 1974, 1986 and 2006. In 2019, Cairo International Stadium will host Group A matches with hosts Egypt taking on Zimbabwe in the opening match on Friday. It is venue for both the opening and closing ceremonies. Another Cairo-based venue is the 30 June Stadium, inaugurated in 2011 with a capacity for 30,000 and is to host Group C matches. This 30,000-seater Al Salam Sports Facility, also known as the Air Defense Stadium, was constructed in 2009. Group D matches involving Namibia, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire and Morocco will be decided here. Alexandria, located in the north-central part of Egypt, is the 2nd largest city and situated along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. The city was founded in 333 BC, where the Alexandria Stadium was built in 1929, the oldest in Egypt, and hosted AFCON in 1986 and 2006. Nigeria, 3-time African champions, will open with a June 22 encounter against Burundi at this 20,000-seater stadium that will host all Group B matches. Ismailia, situated on the west bank of the Suez Canal in the northeast of Egypt, has a population of about 370,000. As its population, Ismailia Stadium is the smallest for AFCON 2019, as only a maximum of 18,500 fans can enjoy football here at a time. It is venue for Group F matches. With a population of 750,000, Suez is a seaport city and the Suez Stadium was constructed in 1965. At AFCON 2019, all Group E matches will be played here, with the Cameroon-Guinea match setting the pace on June 25. From all indications, football fans will follow their teams to any of these venues during the June 21 to July 19 AFCON in Egypt. In Abuja, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide. Thank you for watching. Good evening.